Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. I'm Benga Aboroa. A series of events unfolded yesterday in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. First, it was the police's siege on the Lake Chad Crescent, home of the President of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and moments later, it was on the home of the Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, and the EFCC delivering summons to him to appear at the commission. But as events unfolded, nobody in the police force envisaged that the President of the Senate would slip through the barricade and security personnel to find his way to the National Assembly complex. Again, he was able to make his way into the Red Chamber and preside over yesterday's session. At the brief session, the President of the Senate adjourned sitting until the 25th of September. Before that happened, the names of 15 senators who sent a letter defecting from the APC to the opposition PDP were read out on the floor. Some of the names on that list include Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, Senator Dino Melaye, Senator Barnabas Jumade, and the defections in the Senate were followed by 37 members of the House of Representatives who also defected from the APC to join the opposition PDP.
Very, very high because, I mean, we have 3 senators from my state who have defected. I'm in the House of Representatives, so 6 has defected. So I will consult with them. And then I'll make my position known to my constituency first, and then to the general public. Most give good examples. Today was not a good day for that, and it took a lot, and in some of us, a threat to our lives really against all that. My Deputy Senate President could not come here. The plan was neither for him to, he was surrounding his house, I was surrounding my house, but I was able to make it here. All because some people felt that they wanted to stop people from.
National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Oshiomhole, has reacted to the news of the defection. He said he is not worried over the defection in the party earlier yesterday. Mr. Oshiomhole, who spoke with State House correspondents after meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday, described those who left as mercenaries who were in the APC just to win elections.
Check the electoral result. You will find that a lot of those who claim to have the camp, on a good day, the vote they got that makes them members of the Senate. Our president got much more vote in their constituency. So we are not fooled at all. I'm happy. I have made this point long ago, that with time, Nigerians will really have to be able to say, this is what this party stands for, this is what the other party stands for. This thing of in the morning you have breakfast with me, in the afternoon, you are having lunch with Patton, and in the evening, you are having sugarcane with some other forces. I think in the interest of our nation, we need to simplify the issue before the electorate. We need to build a political party that goes beyond the platform for election. There has been opposition to this APC government. That opposition has come within the ranks of members of the APC, some in the National Assembly. I mean, how can we be in the majority, for example, and we use that majority to elect opposition to take the number 2 slot in our own party? How could we have been in a majority and the president make nominations, those nominations are lying on the floor of the Senate, and the Senate will not.
Yesterday morning, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, was ushered into the House chamber with supporters in the House chanting his name after news of defections at the Senate.
See, people can come out of APC and you cannot stop that right.
Don't you think this is a show of shame?
Well, it's very shameful. We had warned Nigerians that the leopard does not change its skin.
How will you make an attempt to stop the Senate from sitting? So what we are doing is to insist that whoever has contrary opinion to what the opinion that is expressed on the floor should come to the floor to express it, rather than stopping people from expressing that. The beauty of democracy is that minority will have his say, but majority will have his way.
What will save the Speaker is impartiality.
And justice to one is justice to another. So the same ruling is the same ruling I'm maintaining today.
President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday described the defections from the All Progressive Congress at the National Assembly as a seasonal occurrence on the eve of elections. He assured his party members that the defections will do no harm to the party at the elections. In a statement by his media advisor, Garba Shehu, President Buhari, while wishing the defectors the best in their future undertakings, expressed his total commitment to the values of democracy, freedom of choice, and a total willingness to work with all members. President Buhari said none of the defecting federal lawmakers of the APC had any specific grievance against him or the government he leads. Neither did he abhor anything against any of them. The statement said, and I quote, "As the saying goes, all politics is local. We understand that some of the distinguished and honorable members have issues with their home states, especially on zoning, which bars some of them from seeking another term in their constituencies." He commended the leadership of the APC for relentlessly working for its unity and ensuring success in the upcoming elections. President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, is leading senators to the Akpo Legislative Quarters residence of the Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, whose house has been under siege by operatives of the Economics and Financial Crimes Commission and men of the Nigerian police. Saraki had told lawmakers at plenary that a solidarity visit would be paid to Ekweremadu. Still on the senators from the APC to the PDP, Lagos-based legal practitioner Malachi Ugumadu has said the Senate President and other parliamentarians have a constitutional right to defect from the party to another on grounds of division within the party.
What has happened is not just a political move, it's also one that is captured and recognized by the Constitution. And therefore, by the express provisions of Section 68(1)(g) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, members of the National Assembly, that is the Parliament, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, reserve the right to move or defect or cross-carpet from one political party to
The lawyer described the defection as a gain for the political interest of the People's Democratic Party.
already a plus for the PDP in the sense that some principal actors and officers in the APC that guaranteed their victory in terms of numerical strength have jumped ship and now in PDP.
President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, on Tuesday failed to honor the invitation of the Nigerian police force over his indictment in the Offa Bank robbery. The force had invited Saraki to report to the head of investigation team of the intelligence response team on July 2014 at 8 p.m. at 8 July 24 at 8 a.m. in Guzape, Abuja. The invitation was in connection with a confession made by 5 suspects in the April 5th robbery that they were political thugs of Saraki. The force spokesman, Jimoh Moshood, while addressing newsmen on Tuesday in Abuja, said that there was no timeline to the invitation. Moshood said that the force would not shy away from its constitutional responsibilities of crime detection. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has invited Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu over an alleged case of conspiracy, abuse of office, and money laundering. The Anti-Graft Agency, in a letter dated July 24, 2018, requested that Ekweremadu should appear at their office by 10 a.m. on the same date. In view of the above, the letter read, in view of the above, you are kindly requested to report and interview the undersigned at 5 Formella Street off Adetokunbo Ademola Crescent 2, Abuja, on Tuesday, 24 July 2018 at 10 a.m. prompt. This request is made in pursuant of Section 38, subsection 1 of the Economics and Financial Crimes Establishment Act 2004. The letter read in part, this commission in the letter said Ekweremadu has been invited because his name featured prominently in the case, which they are currently investigating, hence the invitation to obtain certain clarifications from him. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the July 14th governorship elections in Edo State, Professor Kolapo Olushola, has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission of frustrating his efforts to duly file a petition at the Elections Petitions Tribunal. Olushola is challenging the victory of the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, as declared by INEC. He alleged that his applications to INEC for the certified true copies of election documents and a motion ex parte made to the tribunal were rebuffed despite having fulfilled necessary steps. Olushola raised the alarm that the delay from INEC and the tribunal were plans to allow time to run against him in instituting the legal action within the 21 days framework. He said no document had been made available to him despite repeated visits to INEC offices in Ekiti and Abuja. The public relations officer of INEC in Ekiti, Alhaji Taiwo Gbadegeshi, did not answer calls to his phone. Voter intimidation, threats of violence and coercion, including people forced to attend political rallies, are being increasingly reported ahead of Zimbabwe's elections on July 30th, especially in rural areas, the United Nations Human Rights Office said on Tuesday. There has also been the worrying use of disparaging language against female political candidates, UN Human Rights spokeswoman Elizabeth Thorsell told a news briefing in Geneva. We call on the authorities and political parties and their supporters to ensure that the elections are not marred by such acts so that all Zimbabweans can participate free and fair in a credible election process, she said. Kenyan Parliament is threatening to disband the Senate, the upper house, for overstepping its mandate by purporting to have powers of oversight of national government agencies. The legislators criticized the senators for duplicating what committees of the National Assembly are doing while leaving county governments to be looted. A day after the Senate's Public Accounts and Investment Committee grilled Education Cabinet Amina Mohammed over the controversial payment of 1.5 billion shillings for land for 2 public schools in Ruaraka. Members of the National Assembly took issue with the senators for doing so. The National Assembly accused the Senate of overstepping its mandate by playing an oversight role on national government agencies and duplicating businesses concluded by the National Assembly Committee. Uganda and India have signed a defense pact that will see the two countries strengthen existing ties in military training. The defense deal was one of 4 memoranda of understanding signed at State House in Entebbe at the start of a 2-day visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Other agreements signed included exemption for visa requirements for holders of diplomatic passports traveling between the two countries, cultural cooperation and exchange program, and establishing a regional materials testing laboratory. The Sudanese mediation has unveiled a new power-sharing proposal for the South Sudanese parties who are talking in Khartoum over how to end the ongoing bloody civil war in the young African country. The new peace plan seeks to create a presidency with 5 vice presidents, as proposed earlier, while the chairman of the SPLM-IO, Dr. Rich Machar, would be reinstated into the first vice president position. The cabinet would be extended from the current 30 ministers to 35 ministers and to be divided by the government. SPLM, IO, SSOA and OPP as 20 ministers, 12 ministers, 2 ministers and 1 minister respectively. There would be 9 deputy prime ministers during the transitional period, which would also be divided by the parties. At the state level, the responsibility sharing would be 55% for the government, 27% for the SPLM-IO, 10% for the SSOA, and other political parties to get 8%. When we return, we'll bring you the latest development on the Pakistani general elections, President Trump's trade talks with the European Union, and more. Don't go away. Polls have opened for a historic general election in Pakistan. Voters will decide today between a former cricket legend, Imran Khan, or the party of ex-Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who has been jailed on corruption charges, which, according to him, are politically motivated. Khan's PTI party has positioned itself as an anti-corruption vehicle of change, but Mr. Sharif's PMLN has accused him of being the military's candidate. With the race expected to be tight, independents and other smaller parties like the PPP, led by the son of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, could play a key role in the coalition. The United States President Donald Trump took a pessimistic view of talks with European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, set for Wednesday, aimed at averting a trade war. In a tweet on Tuesday night, Trump said both the United States and European Union should drop all tariffs, barriers and subsidies. That would finally be called free market and fair trade, Trump said. Hope they do it, we're ready, but they won't, he said. Trump has accused the European Union of unfair trade practices and has threatened to raise tariffs on cars imported from the bloc. European Trade Commissioner Cecilia Malmström, who will accompany Juncker, said last week that EU was preparing a list of US products to hit if the United States imposed the tariffs. 19 people have been confirmed dead and more than 3,000 need to be rescued after a dam collapsed in a remote part of landlocked Laos. Local media reported on Wednesday. The Vientiane Times, citing District Governor Bunom Pumasani, said about 19 people have been found dead, more than 3,000 require rescue, and about 2,851 have been saved. Earlier, a senior Lao government official who declined to be identified because he was not authorized to speak to the media said dozens of people were found dead after the hydropower dam that was under construction collapsed on Monday. Hundreds were reported missing after the walls of water washed away villages, and rescuers on Wednesday continued to search flood waters for survivors, a government official said. A suicide bomber in the southern Syrian city of Sweda killed and wounded an unspecified number of people in an attack near a marketplace early on Wednesday. State media said authorities chased and killed 2 other attackers there before they could also blow themselves up. State news agency Sana said Islamic State militants also attacked 3 villages northeast of Sweda city, killing and wounding a number of people, state TV said. State media did not give an official casualty toll. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the attacks killed 32 people, including civilians and fighters in the city and its countryside. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you business reports. Do stay with us. The Monetary Policy Committee has come to a consensus to leave the monetary policy rate unchanged at 14%. This was disclosed by the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele at the Apex Bank's headquarters in Abuja yesterday.
In view of the trend in rising month-on-month inflation rate, amid the slowly declining year-on-year headline inflation, indications are that inflationary pressures are rebuilding in the domestic economy, and dealing with this requires further impetus in the future. The monthly allocation to various levels of government also increased, suggesting that federal government was not conscious of saving because payment imports have to be paid for. We're saying this time those imports can be paid for using renminbi rather than in dollars, and that we would encourage people who are importing in renminbi, using renminbi.
On the activities of the Nigerian Stock Exchange from yesterday, our business correspondent Irene Ubanu brings us up to date on all the trades and deals that took place.
It was not a very good trading day at the Nigerian Stock Exchange as the all-share index dropped by 0.70%, closing at 36,455.24. Top gainers were Nestle, which gained 20 naira, CCNN gained 1 naira 10 kobo, Custodian 55 kobo, Cortex 33 kobo, and Guarantee, which gained 20 kobo. Top decliners were Better Glass, which dropped by 8 naira 10 kobo, Presco 6 naira 60 kobo, WAPCO 3 naira 25 kobo, Nigerian Breweries 2 naira 50 kobo, and PZ, which dropped by 1 naira 65 kobo. Making the list of top 5 trades were Medview Air, Transcorp, Zenith Bank, First Bank Nigeria Holding, and Axis. Equity capitalization dropped further to 13.205 trillion naira, and the total deals was 4,551.
Still ahead on Plus TV News is our roundup on sports and entertainment news. We'll be back in a moment.
And in entertainment, Afrima has released a list of nominees for 2018, and Nigerian pop stars Davido, Wizkid, and Tiwa Savage are top of the leaderboard. This will be the 5th edition of the Music and Festival Awards and will take place at the impressive House of Blues in Dallas, Texas on the 7th of October 2018. This year, the organizers are adding another category titled Afrima Achievers Award and promise that this year's edition will probably be the best so far. Global liquor brand Jack Daniels will honor Nathaniel Kwabena Adisi, popularly known as Bola Ray, at the Nightlife Award 2018 on Wednesday, the 25th of July at the Nightlife Awards 2018. He'll be honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award for his immense contribution to the entertainment and nightlife industry. Bola Ray has had a successful career spanning over 2 decades and has become one of the most celebrated personalities in the entertainment industry, who has distinguished himself among his peers. The award will be held at Plot 7 in Ghana and will feature performances from KOD, DJ Viruski, D Black, amongst others. Demi Lovato's spokesperson has broken the silence on Lovato's suspected overdose by saying in a statement, Demi is awake and with her family who want to express thanks to everyone for the love, prayers and support. Some of the information being reported is incorrect and they respectfully ask for privacy and not speculation, as her health and recovery is the most important thing right now. An inside source also reveals that she has distanced herself from many important people in her life and even let go of a few people on her team. Everyone has been urging her to get help with her life coach and to seek treatment again, but Demi thought she could handle it all on her own. Demi recently has wanted to be more social and out and about and has been privately partying more with friends. Her performance slated for Thursday in Atlantic City has been cancelled. And that's it on entertainment.
And that's our news roundup of events. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us. I am Benga Aboroa. Have a great day.